Iran, known until 1935 as Persia, is one of the oldest and richest in history. Iran is a crucible of art, culture, science, and empire, with an unbroken history dating back to the rise of urban civilization some 6,000 years ago. And it's a story both expansive and intricate, from the ancient grandeur of the Achaemenid Empire to the Islamic Golden Age, and on to the tumultuous geopolitics of the 20th and 21st centuries. The Elamites were an ancient Iranian people who inhabited southwestern Iran around 2700 BCE. But the first of these great Persian empires arose in the 6th century BCE under the leadership of Cyrus the Great. Cyrus, who was the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, circa 550 to 330 BCE, merged the Medes and Persians and led his empire so far west it reached the Aegean Sea and as far east as the Indus Valley. Cyrus's military genius was matched by his progressive policies, particularly on religious and cultural tolerance. His capture of Babylon in 539 BCE is famous for being recorded on the Cyrus Cylinder, which many historians regard as the first charter of human rights. Darius I extended the Achaemenid Empire and introduced it to an elaborate administrative system by creating satrapies, the equivalent of provinces, improving overland communication and trade, by building the Royal Road and creating the impressive capital city of Persepolis. In 330 BCE, the Achaemenid Empire was conquered by Alexander the Great, marking the beginning of a Hellenistic period. After Alexander's death, his empire split into pieces, and Iran fell under the rule of the Seleucid dynasty, a successor state formed by Greeks and Macedonians. In the 3rd century BCE, the Parthians, a semi-nomadic people of northeastern Iran, gained power. The Parthian Empire, 247 BCE, 224 CE, managed to withstand the Roman incursions and created a unique blend of Iranian and Hellenistic traditions. The Parthians were followed by the Sassanid Empire, which ruled for almost 5 centuries. The Sassanid Empire, 224 to 651 CE, represented a renaissance of Iranian culture in Zoroastrian religion. Centered in Ctesiphon, which is near modern-day Baghdad, the empire was a rival of the Roman and later Byzantine empires. During this period, Sassanid art, architecture, and science thrived, and Persian was established as a prestigious cultural language across the region. But infighting and constant wars with Byzantium eroded the strength of the Sassanid state. Iran was then left defenseless against the emerging threat of Arab-Muslim forces. Muslim-Arab forces defeated the Sassanids at the Battle of al-Qadisiyyah, 636 CE, and over the following decades, such forces came to dominate most of Iran. This set in motion a deep transformation. First, Islam supplanted Zoroastrianism, and then Persian culture absorbed and influenced the larger Islamic world. Although the Umayyad and subsequently the Abbasid caliphates initially ruled the territory, Iranian dynasties such as the Samanids and Buyids emerged, producing a Persian cultural renaissance. Persian emerged as the language of science, philosophy, and poetry, producing luminaries such as Avicenna, Ibn Sina, Ferdowsi, and Omar Khayyam, who left indelible marks on world knowledge and literature. The Safavid dynasty's rise in the early 16th century marked one of the most definitive moments in Iranian history. The Safavids made Twelver Shia Islam the religion of state, distinguishing Iran from its primarily Sunni neighbors and gifting the country a distinct religious character that remains relevant until this day. Iran experienced a golden age under Shah Abbas I, 1588 to 1629. He shifted the capital to Isfahan, which thrived as one of the world's loveliest cities, with magnificent mosques, palaces, and bazaars. After the downfall of the Safavids, there was a long period of instability in Iran until the rise of the Qajar dynasty in the late 18th century. But the Qajars faced challenges of internal corruption and weak governance, as well as more meddling by European powers, especially Britain and Russia. Iran had lost large tracts of land through treaties with these empires and faced economic exploitation during the 19th century. Despite efforts to reform, modernization lagged and resentment festered among many segments of society. With the constitutional revolution of 1906, Iran took its first major step toward democracy in the early 20th century. This campaign resulted in the creation of a parliament, Majlis, in a constitution. But constitutionalists encountered opposition from monarchists and foreign powers, and the revolution's aims were only partially fulfilled. In 1925, a military officer named Reza Khan overthrew the last Qajar Shah and established the Pahlavi dynasty. As Reza Shah, he led a forceful campaign of modernization and secularization, education, law, and infrastructure reform among them. But his authoritarian style and repression of dissent drew criticism. During World War II, the Allies pressured Reza Shah to abdicate because of his pro-German sympathies and put in his place his son, Mohammad Reza Shah. Under the younger Shah, Iran became ever more aligned with the West, and in particular, the United States. In 1953, a coup backed by the CYA and MI6 deposed the democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh after he nationalized Iran's oil industry. This event stoked anti-Western sentiment and darkened U.S.-Iran relations for years. The Islamic Revolution of 1979 was the culmination of mounting discontent with the Shah's authoritarianism, rapid modernization, and perceived status as a puppet of the West. The revolution, led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, toppled the monarchy and created an Islamic republic founded on the political doctrine of Vilayat-e-Faqih, guardianship of the Islamic jurist. This shift radically altered Iranian society and politics. The new rulers limited Western influence, imposed harsh Islamic laws, and endorsed a new political ideology that combined theocracy with republicanism. In 1980, Iraq, under the dictator Saddam Hussein, invaded Iran, leading to an 8-year war that ravaged both countries. The Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988, cemented Iran's revolutionary ideology and stoked a powerful sense of nationalism and resistance to foreign intervention. In the years since, Iran's political scene has churned in a tug-of-war between reformist and conservative camps. Reformists, like former President Mohammad Khatami, have aimed to open up Iranian society and improve relations with the West. Right-wing candidates have stressed ideological purity at home and resistance to Western influence abroad, including Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. International tensions over Iran's nuclear program, in particular, brought both sanctions and diplomatic isolation at different times. The 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOM, aka Iran nuclear deal, provided a moment of detente, but the agreement's tearing up by 2018 after U.S. exit reignited tensions. The history of Iran is a sprawling tapestry embroidered with strands of empire, conquest, culture, and revolution. From the imperial splendor of Persepolis to the traffic-choked streets of contemporary Tehran, Iran has been a crossroads of civilizations, a crucible of ideas. Its people have then, and continue to, turn the world upside down with resilience, creativity, and principle in both the region and the globe.